Hi, I'm Michael Wan. Thanks for watching us today. Did Korean-American Bruce Orr fabricate Russia scandal? That is the subject of today's op-ed. So Korean-American Bruce Orr is in the middle of the Russia scandal fabrication controversy. Look, by now, people must know that the Trump-Russia collusion scandal is nothing but a fabricated maneuver done by the Hillary team and the Democrats and also the top echelons of the FBI. And also, we cannot exclude the mainstream media. Orr spoke with members of the Joint Task Force of the Judiciary and Oversight Committees for 8 hours in a closed-door session on Tuesday, and a lot came out. All the suspicions I had and said in this program seems to be all true. Justice Department official Bruce Orr, the number 4 guy in the Justice Department, who used to be number 4, but now he's been demoted twice because of all these shenanigans, Bruce Orr gave lawmakers a list of half a dozen senior FBI and DOJ officials who knew about his interactions with people tied to the Trump dossier. Is James Comey there? Is Andrew McCabe there? You'll know by the time I finish this segment. So Representative of Texas, John Ratcliffe, he's in the Judiciary Committee. John Ratcliffe said during a Fox News interview that these FBI and DOJ officials were told of Bruce Orr and his wife Nellie Orr's involvement with ex-British spy Christopher Steele, the author of the Trump dossier, and Fusion, GPS, the opposition research firm that commissioned the dossier. Can you believe this? This is how corrupt the Justice Department was, and this is how corrupt the mainstream media is for not reporting these, honestly. I'm talking about New York Times, Washington Post, CNN, MSNBC, ABC, NBC, CBS. These are the major networks and major papers that are refusing to cover this scandal honestly. Because why? Because they are corrupt to their core. I believe they know that what they are doing is wrong and what they're doing is corrupted. And they also know that the Democratic Party and Hillary team were corrupted and probably still very corrupted at this moment to try to cover this all up. So they know, think about it, they know that this is all fabricated, yet they still try to brainwash people that it's real and say that it's Trump, it's Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, who colluded with Russia without any single evidence and no witnesses so far. All they talk about is the hacking and also the 2016 Trump Tower meeting that Donald Trump Jr. had with that Russian lawyer named Natalie something. I can't even pronounce her last name. So this is the shenanigans that has been going on with the mainstream media. Please, I plead to all of you, do not get brainwashed by what they say. Think, use your common sense, and you will notice that everything was fabricated by the Democratic Party and the Hillary people. And Christopher Steele and Bruce Orr seem to be in the center of it. So there was corruption happening at the top level of the FBI. Orr said at least one of these officials signed off on a Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act warrant application seeking the authority to spy on one-time Trump campaign advisor Carter Page. Is that individual Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein? Or was that individual the fired, disgraced former interim Attorney General Sally Yates, who is also another corrupt individual out there, who refused a direct order from the president? Of course, she deserves to be fired. This is how corrupt the Obama administration was. All these people, all these players, all these actors. And then another bombshell story came out today related to Bruce Orr. This came out in Fox News today. So Bruce Orr had contact in 2016 with then-colleague Andrew Weissmann, who is now a top Robert Mueller deputy, as well as other senior FBI officials about the fabricated anti-Trump dossier and the individuals behind it. Sources said Bruce Orr's outreach about the dossier, as well as Christopher Steele, Fusion GPS, and his wife Nellie Orr's work for Fusion occurred before and after the FBI fired Christopher Steele as a source over his media contacts. My question is this: why is Bruce Orr even involved in this whole thing? Isn't he supposed to be completely neutral? He's supposed to be the number 4 guy in the Justice Department. This kind of shenanigan has been going on during the Obama administration. Where is the New York Times and Washington Post and CNN not reporting about that? I believe because they think that Obama is some kind of god for them, for the New York Times, Washington Post, and CNN. So he can do no wrong, even though all these corruptions happened during his administration. And by the way, we all know that Barack Obama sent a personal email to Hillary Clinton to her personal email account. And Barack Obama lied to the public that he knew nothing about it. He said he knew that Hillary was using a private email via an interview. He said via news reports, same as how other Americans found out about it. So he lied. Where is the mainstream media criticizing Barack Obama? This is why I keep on telling you, the mainstream media, they are evil. They just spread lies day after day, night after night, 24/7. It became that way. I don't know when it started. I do know that even during the George W. Bush era, they were completely far left and pretty much operating as the extension of the Democratic Party. I didn't know that. And most people who's in the press business, they all know it. They all know New York Times and Washington Post, CNN. They're pretty much the Democratic Party super PAC team. Of course they are. So I would say this. Without Fox News, many people might not have even knew all these truths. Okay? That is the reason why these mainstream media, the completely far left media, corrupt, evil, sinister media, refuse to cover these stories honestly and always criticize Fox News. Well, it's actually the other way around. It seems like Fox News has been that one channel who has always spread the truth, and they counterattacked against the mainstream media. So we should be thankful for Fox News. I am thankful for them, for letting all these out. Not just them, Drudge Report, Breitbart. We got to know these news outlets. And it is a pity that a lot of international news outlets, not just like South Korea or Japan or Europe or Africa, all these countries, they tend to translate a lot of articles coming from New York Times or Washington Post or CNN, not knowing they are fake newspapers and broadcasting companies at this point. They need to follow these more: Fox News, Drudge Report, Breitbart, Daily Caller, and National Review. All these, there are so many great sites and papers out there who are doing honest journalism. So they need to, people need to study about it, especially if you're in the media business. Just study about it. Just look at all the facts, and then find out who's telling lies and who's telling truth. It's not that tough. To me, it's not that tough. And I'm not a Republican and I'm not a Democrat, but we got to call strikes, strikes, and balls, balls. We can't say when somebody throws a ball, that's a strike, okay? We just cannot have that kind of nonsense anymore. So Bruce Orr's network of contacts on the dossier included, here it goes, former FBI agent Peter Strzok, former FBI lawyer Lisa Page, former Deputy Director Andrew McCabe, and also Weissman, Andrew Weissman, and at least one other DOJ official and a current FBI agent who worked with Peter Strzok on the Russia case. Well, Weissman, who is called the pit bull for Robert Mueller, the special counsel Robert Mueller, Weissman was kept in the loop on the dossier while he was chief of the criminal fraud division. He is now assigned to special counsel Mueller's team. The list includes several figures who have since attracted the scorn of President Trump as he decries the Russia probe and those involved in its early stages. Donald Trump had a rally last night in Indiana. He gave like a 1.5 hour rally speech. I don't think anybody can do that. I don't think Barack Obama would be able to go off 1.5 hours without prompters. He's a good teleprompter reader, and he knows how to put emotions in it, so I think he's a good actor, but I don't think he has the skills or the communication skills or relatability, and he does not have the power as Donald Trump, how he connects with his followers and his people. I've never seen anybody like it. I mean, among all the politicians that I've seen so far, I have not yet seen a person who is a better communicator than Donald Trump. That is the reason why, after just 18 months of presidential campaign, he beat out all the other 16 GOP presidential candidates, and also he beat out Hillary Clinton in the runoff. So, in the general election. So Donald Trump, I mean, people try to dismiss him. The mainstream media try to dismiss him. Whatever he does is stupid or crazy or whatever. I have yet to see Donald Trump do a really stupid thing, politically speaking. I think it's all, working under his plan. I mean, look at it. They say it's controversy. I mean, this will finally bring down Donald Trump, whatever it is, whether it's Access Hollywood tape or Omarosa or whatever, even the Russia scandal. It's all just it's just all a fabricated, ridiculous accusations at this so far. There's nothing. It seems like nothing sticks to Trump because it seems like most of them are not even true. So I plead to our viewers and readers that you gotta get a lot of information, not just from the mainstream media. When I'm talking about the mainstream media, I'm talking about most of the media outlets that you know of. You got to listen to talk radio. Well, why don't you try to listen to, a lot of, conservative radio talk show hosts out there. There's so many, like Rush Limbaugh, Sean Hannity, and I'm not saying just believe whatever they say, but try to compare who's telling the truth. Then you'll know the truth, who's telling the truth. Okay? And Larry Elder and, Dennis Prager, there's so many out there. There are just absolutely so many out there. Michael Savage. I'm not a particular fan of this guy, but Glenn Beck and Jennifer Horn, all these people, Ben Shapiro. There's so many out there. I mean, try to get a lot of information from other people and go on from there. You can't just stick with the narrative that the mainstream media is spewing out there. So Donald Trump has been particularly tough on Bruce Orr, given his wife Nellie's past work for Fusion GPS, as the president alleges bias against him inside the department. Just Thursday morning, Donald Trump complained on Twitter about Nellie Orr's Fusion work and exclaimed, Bruce was a boss. Bruce was a boss at the Department of Justice and is unbelievably still there. So Bruce Orr's broad circle of contacts indicates members of FBI leadership knew about his back-channel activities regarding the dossier and Steele. Congressional Republicans are still trying to get to the bottom of Bruce Orr's role in circulating the unverified dossier. I don't even want to call it unverified dossier. I want to call it's a fabricated dossier. If you look at the contents that the dossier shows, it's just complete nonsense. One of the lines, it claims that Michael Cohen, who used to be Donald Trump's personal lawyer for 10 years, that he went to Prague, but they found out that he never left to Prague. His passport never showed it. Okay, these are the lies that were spread from this dossier, the Trump-Russia dossier. So they pretty much fabricated, they invented something that doesn't exist in this world. They fabricated something that Donald Trump had some kind of crazy night in a Russia, Moscow hotel and bring in 2 prostitutes and make that 2 prostitutes pee on a bed that supposedly that Barack Obama and his wife Michelle slept on. And they have a videotape on that, or the Russia intelligence has a videotape on that, and those Russia intelligence people gave that videotape to Vladimir Putin. So and because of that, Donald Trump is pretty much a puppet for Vladimir Putin. If Donald Trump is truly a puppet for Vladimir Putin, then why is he putting so many sanctions against Russia? Donald Trump has been the toughest president against Russia in American history. I would go as far as to say that, no matter what the mainstream media is trying to tell you. That is the truth. I've never seen a president put so many sanctions against Russia. Obviously, Obama didn't do anything too. Gotta tell you that too. Okay, so anyway, this dossier, which became a critical piece of evidence in obtaining a surveillance warrant for then Trump campaign aide Carter Page in October 2016. So Bruce Orr was grilled by House committees behind closed doors for 8 hours earlier this week on Tuesday. And this is what Fox News legal analyst Greg Jarrett said. Greg Jarrett, he's a great guy. His book, The Russia Hoax, is in the New York Times bestseller list for 3 weeks in a row. I highly recommend it. That's a great book. A Republican, so this is what he said. A Republican-authored House Intelligence Committee memo released in February said that Christopher Steele, maintained contact with Bruce Orr before and after the government fired the ex-British spy as a source. Shortly after the election, the FBI began interviewing Bruce Orr, documenting his communications with Christopher Steele, the memo said. So for example, in September 2016, Christopher Steele admitted to Bruce Orr his feelings against then-candidate Donald Trump when Christopher Steele said he was desperate that Donald Trump not get elected and was passionate about him not being president. So if former MI6 agent from Great Britain, Christopher Steele, if he hates Donald Trump that much, I think there is a high possibility, even though he got money from the Hillary people and the DNC through Fusion GPS, I don't know how much he got, probably 13 million or something like that. That was what Washington Post said. If Christopher Steele hated Donald Trump that much, I would think that probably he came up with this fabrication. Probably he just lied that he met with Russians and got these information. Probably he just made it up one day, like a novelist writing a novel, and say, Donald Trump went to Ritz-Carlton Hotel in Moscow, Russia, and purchased 2 prostitutes and did some crazy things. It seems like this idea came out from Christopher Steele's head. I don't even believe that he even met Russians. I don't know. Probably he did. If he did, then the real Russia collusion did not happen with Donald Trump and Russia. The real collusion happened with Hillary Clinton and Russia, right? Because supposedly Christopher Steele got that Trump dossier from the Russians. So then who did the collusion? And where is Jeff Sessions on this? Where is the Attorney General? What is he even doing? What is Attorney General Jeff Sessions doing? It seems like Donald Trump, whenever he sees him on TV, that it feels like Jeff Sessions is talking with marbles in his mouth. That's how much Donald Trump can't stand him anymore. If I was Donald Trump, I wouldn't be able to stand him too. What is he even doing? Why did he even recuse himself when he had nothing to do with Russia collusion? Did he collude? So that's why he recused? Doesn't make sense at all. And of course, Donald Trump has every right to be angry like that. I do not think that Jeff Sessions will still be the Attorney General next year if he doesn't do anything. If he doesn't do anything, he got to do something. He has to do something. We have seen so many corruption happening in the Hillary camp, not just the Hillary camp, the FBI and the Department of Justice, all these things. And they have to get to the bottom of all the scandals during the Obama administration. For instance, Acorn scandal and Uranium One scandal, Fast and Furious scandal, and the IRS targeting conservative group scandal. We got to get to the bottom of all of these scandals. Why? Because the New York Times and Washington Post, CNN, they refuse to cover these. That's why we have to, when they refuse to cover all those corruptions that happened during the Obama administration, there is a reason for that, because they're all in it together. That's how I see it. So we have to keep on, but I don't know what Jeff Sessions is doing. Actually, if Donald Trump picked the right Attorney General, he would have investigated all of these scandals that I just mentioned to you. What is he even doing? I don't understand. Jeff Sessions, I just do not understand what he is doing. I don't know his agenda. I don't know whether all he's doing really good is only in the immigration front. Other than that, I don't know what he's doing. I mean, it seems like he's not even the Attorney General. It's like he doesn't even exist. It seems like Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein is pretty much in control of the Justice Department. And if I'm the Attorney General, I would be ashamed to have your Deputy Attorney General to actually control the whole thing, especially the most important case of Russia collusion, which is a complete fabrication. He's supposed to investigate Hillary Clinton's Russia collusion. And probably some of you already know it by now. Hillary Clinton, when she was the Secretary of State for the United States, she sold 20% of American uranium to Russia. And the Clinton Foundation got $145 million from Russia. So is there some kind of deal going on? That's it. That's how it seems. Where is the investigation for that? Where is it? They say that there is some investigation regarding that John Huber, U.S. Attorney John Huber, is supposedly supposed to investigate all this, but I don't hear anything. I don't hear anything. Even Bruce Orr himself, even Bruce Orr said he has not been contacted. Bruce Orr said that he has not been contacted by John Huber. What is John Huber even doing? John Huber, he's supposed to investigate whether the FBI illegally applied the FISA warrant. Because the FBI spied Carter Page, right? The Trump campaign volunteer. So what is he even doing? What is he doing? I mean, there are so many corruptions, but it seems like things are not moving as fast. Somehow things are really moving fast on the Trump-Russia collusion, conspiracy, collusion, fabricated collusion. It seems like the stories are always out there, even though it's fake. But the real collusion that happened between the Hillary and Russia, it seems like it's so slow. I mean, it's supposed to come out every day that there's some kind of corruption here and there, but it seems like even in the conservative media, it does not come out on a daily basis. It is because there seems to be no investigation really going on right now. So I don't know what's going on in the Justice Department. I don't know what's going on in the special counsels. I think special counsel probe should be stopped immediately, knowing that this dossier is fake. So they based this whole special counsel probe under a fake dossier, and they applied the wiretap, the Trump campaign, using a fake dossier. Can you believe that? And the New York Times and CNN, Washington Post does not even put this story on their front page. It's corruption at its highest level. And in addition, Bruce Orr's handwritten notes showed that 2 weeks after the election on November 21st, he made a list including Lisa Page, Peter Strzok, and the FBI agent, which may have been a reference to a meeting. So no prosecution yet. Push case ahead on M. This is what he wrote, Peter Strzok. And then may go back. Oh, this is what Bruce Orr wrote. No prosecution yet. Push case ahead on M. May go back to Chris. I think when he said push case ahead on M, that M means Paul Manafort. So Bruce, which essentially means that Bruce Orr wants a prosecution, the special counsel team, to push case ahead on Paul Manafort, try to charge him. That's what it sounds. That's how I take this. And what is the number 4 guy doing, even saying this? He's supposed to remove himself from this probe. Why is he even involved in it? There should be some kind of criminal case against Bruce Orr. It may go back to Chris. Chris who? Seems like Christopher Steele. So that same month, Steele was fired. Christopher Steele was fired by the FBI as a confidential source over his contact with the media about the dossier. So we all have to know this fact. Bruce Orr, grilled by lawmakers, says FBI doubted Trump dossier for FISA warrant. Okay? So the FBI, even though they applied for the FISA warrant, for the wiretap, even FBI didn't believe the dossier was verified. Okay? So where's the New York Times and Washington Post on this? Huh? When there's an obvious corruption happening, they turn a blind eye. That's why we call it fake news, okay? So this is what Congressman Jim Jordan said, who, by the way, I respect a lot. Jim Jordan is a great guy. I think he probably might become one day a potential presidential candidate for the Republican Party. I really believe that. I think he's one of the really righteous politicians out there. I think he sits on the Oversight Committee. We need more politicians like him. But anyway, this is what he said. When they went to court, the FBI knew 3 important things, and they did not disclose this to the court. They knew the Orr's involvement in the production of the dossier. They knew that Chris Steele had this extreme bias against the president. And they knew who paid for the dossier. Who paid for it? Hillary Clinton and the DNC, $13 million, okay? That in itself, it said $1 million, but altogether, the Hillary Clinton people and the DNC, they paid $13 million to this company, Fusion GPS. Anyway, I will continue what Jim Jordan said. Jim Jordan said, and they did not disclose these key facts to the court when they went there to get the warrant to spy on Carter Page and the Trump campaign. Okay? So I plead again to our viewers and readers, do not believe what the New York Times, Washington Post, and CNN report. It's all fabricated, especially when it comes to politics. I read them. I used to read them every day. I don't anymore. I don't. I just look at the headlines, just keeping track what the Democratic Party is thinking. Because they're pretty much, like I told you already, they're the super PAC for the Democratic Party. So this is where we are at. You know, journalism shouldn't root for one party. You know, we have to be fair. You know, give every party a fair shake. And call strikes, strikes, and balls, balls. You just cannot confuse that. And with the mainstream media, I talk a lot about the media because most of the people, they get their news, they get their politics information from the mainstream media. So I want to tell people to stop doing that and try to get their news sources from other areas. There are so many out there. You know, look up the internet. Google some other companies. You know, and when you read those NYT or WAPO or watch CNN, you have to counterbalance it and try to find out what the other side of the aisle are saying. Well, that's our show for today. Our show is not about left or right, it's about right or wrong. To stay up to date with our latest videos, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel by clicking subscribe. Thanks for tuning in.